how, appraisers, do you get from page 10 or the scroll of the lifetime to number 4, number 5, number 6 on Google's page?
Originating from deep inside the Rocky Mountains, transported through the power of the internet, and arriving inside your tiny earbuds. It's the Appraiser Coach Podcast, helping appraisers increase their efficiency, quality, and make more money. Here's the guy who makes it his life's mission to create value for real estate appraisers nationwide. Your host and the Appraiser Coach, Dustin Harris.
I would say that one of the most frequent topics, the thing that we talk about probably more than anything else when it comes to the mastermind groups, when we meet together as a small group of appraisers in Nashville or Denver or Boise or LA, you name it, right? When we meet together in that hotel room, we're talking marketing. And when we talk marketing, we're talking Google. And when we talk Google, we're talking about our website. And when we talk about our website, we're talking about SEO. I want to pause here and remind you folks that we are sponsored by a company with another acronym, OREP. OREP.org is where you learn more about the E&O that Dustin Harris uses, and a la mode. That is the software that I use to do my appraisal work. You should be as well, alamode.com or 800 alamode. All right, folks, today we are talking about SEO. What is SEO? It's search engine optimization. I frequently refer to it as Google juice, right? What is it that causes you to be on the search? That's really the goal, right? You can create the fanciest website ever. It can have video, and it can have interaction, it can have photos, and it can have great colors, and it can pop, and it can have a call to action, and all of the stuff that you're supposed to have with a website. But if people don't find it, if they don't see it, right, it's like buying the pretty dress and then putting it in the back of the closet, right? What is the purpose of buying the dress if you don't wear it for dancing? Okay. And so the website, you can spend a lot of time and a lot of money on the website, but don't forget, folks, it needs to be seen. And the only way that it's seen in today's world is SEO. And when we talk SEO, we're not talking Yahoo, we're not talking Bing. Well, kind of. Bing is getting more popular when it comes to AI, at least. But we're talking Google. Ultimately, we're talking Google. That's where people go. You don't say, hey, did you do a web search for that? No, you say, did you Google it? It's so common. It's like Kleenex and tissue, right? Pass me a Kleenex doesn't necessarily mean the brand name, right? But that's the word that we use to describe what it is that we're using. And Google is the search engine, at least as of this recording today in 2024, June specifically, in 2024, Google is still the king when it comes to search and data. That's probably going to change as AI develops. But again, another topic for another day. We're not talking AI today. We're talking about how to get your website out there so people see it, so people interact with you, that you don't just spend $4,000 on a great website and then it goes nowhere. The idea, the thought is you want people to see what it is that you have to showcase. And you cannot do that without SEO, or search engine optimization. What does that mean? Basically, folks, it is the behind the scenes stuff that you need to engineer, the things that you need to do to get you on the first page of Google. Why the first page, Dustin? Well, think about it, folks. When you are searching for a plumber or a carpenter or a chef or a place to stay or you name it, right? A new grocery store, whatever it is. Let me ask you a question. When was the last time you went to page 2 of Google? I know some of you are like, well, Dustin, when's the last time you were on Google? They don't even have pages. You just scroll, you just scroll, you scroll. I get it. You don't actually have to hit next to get to the next page, but you know what I'm talking about. When have you ever scrolled recently past the first 10 to 15 entries? And honestly, when have you really scrolled past the first 5? That's where the magic happens. And how appraisers do you get from page 10 or the scroll of the lifetime to number 4, number 5, number 6 on Google's page, right? Some people believe that you need to pay for SEO to do that. I am not necessarily opposed to that. But when we get back from the break, I want to go into a little bit more detail and my opinion as to what you should do when it comes to your website, your presence, your being known and being known as the expert as an appraiser in your market. First, I want to pause and remind you that we are sponsored by a great insurance. Folks, I know, Dustin, great insurance. Like those are two words that should not fit together in the same sentence. But when it comes to OREP, folks, they do. Folks, I have used OREP insurance, not just as my insurance provider, but as my protector. There's been times that I've needed their support, and they are there every single time. That's the kind of insurance company that you want to work with, because that's the kind of insurance company that will allow you to sleep better at night. OREP.org. Again, it's OREP.org. Speaking of sleeping better at night, I never, ever, ever worry about if I have the right, the correct, the best report writing software. I know I do as an appraiser because I use the best one out there. It's called A La Mode. It's total for mobile. It's quick source. It's you name it, right? It's comps view. It's comps database. It's side-by-side view. It's smart adjust. I could go on and on and on about the many, many benefits that are found within the software. And that's just one of the reasons it's the best. Check them out by going to alamode.com, or I encourage people to pick up the phone, folks. We don't do that enough these days. During business hours, I don't know what they are, but Monday through Friday, mid-afternoon, call A La Mode, 800 A La Mode. Ask them about their services, ask them about their software, and you'll be blown away by what they can do. alamode.com or 800 A La Mode. Welcome back to the program, everybody. Dustin Harris hanging out once again in the podcast chair. You've seen me from home a lot lately. That's been nice. I've not been to the office, honestly, for about 2.5 weeks now. And it's great. My wife and I are in a little different situation now, not to get too far off in the weeds, but I'll just say that we have one kid left at home, and he works a lot. So there's a lot of empty space right now. There's no one home right now except my golden doodle, who... Yep, he's laying right over there. So welcome back to my home studio. We're talking today about SEO. We're talking specifically about Google Juice, or the way that you are seen when people search. This is the deal. Let me make it very plain. What we're looking for, folks, is this. When someone needs an appraisal, grandma died, grandpa's been dead for a couple of years, we need to figure out what to do with the house, and we need to start with an appraisal. So what do? Well, you get on Google and you say, I need an appraiser in Idaho Falls, And you probably won't even use the word I need, right? You're just going to put appraiser in Idaho Falls. What's going to pop up? Well, that is a great question. And it comes down to Google, and it comes down to your Google business profile. And yes, your reviews and how active you are on all of that, right? That is a topic for another day. We're not talking about Google business profile today. We're talking about SEO, but you can't talk about one without the other because they are connected. Folks, if you want to be on page 1 of Google, you cannot do it without a Google business profile. But you also can't do it unless you know a little bit about Google and the algorithm that it uses to find people, to find services, to find professionals like yourself. Are you set up properly? Do you have the right keywords? Are you doing the things that you're supposed to do to get moved up to page 1? Now, some of you are saying, well, Dustin, that's too much work, and that's why I don't do private work, and that's fine. This podcast may not be for you. There's still appraisers out there. I know, believe it or not. It's mind-blowing to me, folks, but there are still appraisers out there that don't even have a website. Yeah, it's crazy, but it's true, But if you have a website, and if you are trying to build business, not just on the private side, but maybe it's local lenders and different, you want to be found. When someone's looking for an appraiser in your hometown, you want to be found. So the question on the table, Dustin, is, do I pay for it? I'm not going to answer that question yet, because I want to back up for just a second and talk to you a little bit about what that looks like, Because it will actually help me with the answer. I mentioned that in order to do SEO properly, you need to know a little something about SEO. You need to know a little bit about how Google works. You need to know a little bit about their analytics. Here's the other thing, folks, not to put too many wrenches in the mix right now, but Google often changes that algorithm. So you might know how to do it now. The question is, are you going to know how to do it in 2 weeks, in 2 months, in 2 years? And the answer is probably not. And what I was doing a couple of years ago worked well, and it's not working now. So you have to continually update those methodologies and the engineering, the backside, so that you can be seen on Google. So then again, the question on the table is, do you pay for it? Well, folks, this is not a cheap venture. When you're looking at SEO, there's a couple of different ways to do it, and this goes to my answer. You can sometimes, and it's a rare bird that you'll find that will actually, a company that will do this for you. You can pay for SEO up front and it be one lump sum, or what most SEO companies do is they want to put you on a long-term contract. And they will have a conversation with you and say, hey, we can keep you up there. We can keep, moving. Google's always changing its algorithm. You're going to want us to update things. You're going to want us to, do this, that, and the other. And it's going to be $1,200 a month. And I'm not joking, folks. That is actually pretty common, right? The number I threw out was not just made up out of air, right? You can maybe get it for as low as 800, maybe spend a couple thousand a month, not a year. I'm talking about a month. Okay. Or you could probably find, it's going to take some looking because, again, companies don't make money at the one-offs, right? Most companies don't. You're going to have to find a smaller company. These bigger marketing companies, they want you on the hook monthly. So to find a company that will just do a one-off deal with you is very difficult, but that, my friends, is the answer that I would give you. Okay. Now, if you are in a rural market, and I mean your competition is when you type in Appraiser in Kokoluku, where you live, and Charles, who's 89 years old, comes up with some old website that doesn't make any sense at all, except in 1996. Okay, you probably don't need to pay for SEO. Okay, but if you're like me, who, yes, I work a rural market, yes, my competition isn't big, but when you type in Appraiser in Idaho Falls, I'm not the only one that pops up. Okay, and as a consequence, I'm going to pay for someone to help me set that up. But I do not personally want to be in a long-term contract where I'm paying $1,200 a month. That does not mean, folks, that I necessarily discourage you from doing so. If you're in LA, if you're downtown Salt Lake, if you're Dallas, if you're Miami, if you are New York City, folks, you are dealing with some steep competition, and you may indeed want to find a great company that can be by your side, constantly updating and making sure that you're the fourth or fifth pick on Google. Notice I didn't say the first or second. Okay. That could be very expensive to get to that point. And maybe the ROI would not be worth it. Make sense? The question asked is, do you pay for SEO? The answer is, well, it depends. But if you do pay for SEO, 9 times out of 10, your competition is not paying for SEO. So do it one time, get it up and going. You're probably going to be doing just fine with that initial, let's say $1,500 to get you on page 1 of Google and probably keep you there for a long period of time. I mentioned at the beginning that we talk about these kind of things often in our mastermind groups. And folks, I wanted to tell you that we have something new going on with the mastermind group. It's really, really cool. Listen up. So we still have our set Nashville team. We still have our online team. And now we have a traveling team. That's right. Call us the Globetrotters of the appraisal world, right? So we will meet in a different city every 3 months. So 6 months ago, we met in LA. 3 months ago, we met in Boise. Recently, we're meeting in Denver, and then we're going to look at the next spot. Okay, now most of these things are going to be west of the Mississippi. Okay, we may venture to the East Coast. I don't know, but most of the members are west of the Mississippi, so that's probably where we will stick, just to make it cost effective for them to fly in. Sometimes people think, well, you're not coming to my city, so I can't come, folks. 99% of the people, well, that's not right. 75% of the people that come to the mastermind group in LA don't live in California, right? When they come to Boise, we had one person who lived in Boise. Everybody else flew in, right? When we go to Nashville, there's more people that drive in Nashville, but People are flying in from all over the nation. That's what it's all about. It's bringing appraisers together in the same room. It is an incredible experience. I highly recommend that you check it out by going to my website, theappraisercoach.com, and click on the mastermind groups, the Dream Team mastermind groups on theappraisercoach.com. Thank you for joining today, folks, and go create some value.
You've been listening to the Appraiser Coach podcast with Dustin Harris. If you like what you hear, please give us a 5-star rating and post a short review on iTunes. For more in-depth insider information on how you can make more money as a real estate appraiser, visit theappraisercoach.com and sign up for the All-Star team today. Thanks for joining us. And now, get out there and create some value.
All right, folks. So today we're talking about something. What the hell were we talking about? I totally lost it. What is the topic today? I am losing my mind. SEO, son of a gun. Okay, going back in from the break. Not really the break, but the shout out.